Hello everybody, it's lovely to be here. Happy Friday. I just wanted to touch base with you all and share with you my 3 top non-negotiable steps to an outstanding life, outstanding living, wherever your focus currently is or isn't. So I am going to bring you 3 key steps. So first of all, the really important place to start is at the beginning, and that is to know what you want. So knowing what you want is paramount to you being able to move forward and move into the creation stage. So first of all, you need clarity. Now, knowing what you want is important, but first of all, we need to develop a good, strong connection with our inner being. So it's important to know what you want, not from a point of view of external influence, so perhaps dependent on what your partner wants or what's best for the family or what your culture dictates perhaps, or what is influenced by maybe the external life that you're currently living or being exposed to. So my top tip for getting a really good connection and a really good feedback from your inner being, I mean, the terminology I use is all different and interconnected, it doesn't matter, you choose your own. Your inner being, your soul, your higher self, it doesn't really matter, but having that inner connection is paramount. So making sure that what you are desiring is authentic and current to you. So a number of ways that you can do that, and we're not going to go into all of them now, but meditation or being outside in nature, making sure that you're sleeping well, just being still and silent for a short period of time every day. That's a really awesome way to make sure that your information, the desires that you're experiencing, your wants, your needs are coming from an authentic place. So once you've identified what you really want, you're able to then ask for what you want. Go into the manifesting process. Now, if you're new to manifesting, it's a really fun way to what I call play with the universe, because by your very nature, you are already manifesting by default. So if you're not familiar with the concept of conscious creation or deliberate creation in your life, then here's a really, really awesome tip, and that is just to simply identify what you want, make sure that it's coming from your inner being, from that soul place, that pure place, and that it is in current alignment with what you want and not what you think you want or what someone else makes you think that you want. And then just request it from the universe. Lots of different ways you can do that. You can perform a written exercise. You can simply go into a space of quiet, a meditative state. You can have just a simple conversation like you would do with a friend or a family member, a very simple way, and also bring your focus to that, bring your attention to that. So let's just quickly recap. Knowing what you want, number 1, identify it based on your soul connection, based on something that you know. And how do we know that it's coming from your inner being? It lights you up, it makes you excited, it makes you feel complete, content. And if you were to not pursue it, it would make you feel more uncomfortable than if you were to pursue it. Very often when we're upgrading or ascending or improving our life, it does require us to step outside of our comfort zone and move in a direction that's possibly going to be very uncomfortable, if not a little bit. So even if you're feeling that it's slightly uncomfortable to move in that direction, a really good tip for you to look out for is to figure out that if I was to not pursue it or to not go in that direction or not continue to desire it, that I would feel more uncomfortable than if I was to. Okay, so getting that clarity based on also your past experiences. So if you're, again, having a little bit of trouble getting clear on what you want, and again, we're talking about all areas of life. We can apply these tools and tips to all areas of life. your relationships, your home life, your health, your wellness, your money, your career, your business, and the list is really endless. So whatever it is that you're currently focusing on, you can apply all of what I'm talking about today to those particular areas. And if you've got any questions, please do pop them in the comments below, because we'll have a little bit of time at the end to address those. So getting clear on what you want. So once you're clear on what you want, based on perhaps what's happened in the past, maybe in a relationship you went through some really tough times and you were faced with scenarios that you really didn't like, maybe traits in your partner that you now understand that you absolutely categorically will not put up with in the future. So there you have a whole host of clarity around that. Maybe it's a past job of yours. Maybe it's somewhere that you've lived for a long time and you're now getting really clear on why you don't like living there. So based on all of those findings and those realizations, you're then able to move forward with more clarity. For example, when although I'm currently in the UK, I don't live here anymore. So when I decided to acknowledge my deep desires to move somewhere that was warm and free-spirited and easygoing and easy living, I was able to use the clarity that I'd cultivated over many, 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 many years. Hi everybody, hi Helen and Eleni, Vicky, and I can see Rebecca there as well. I was able to actually cultivate that clarity and utilize it to amp up the creation stage, the creation phase, as I was moving forward. So I hope that makes sense. So based on any negativity from your past, you'll then be able to draw upon that, flip it on its back, and become really clear and powerfully focused as you move forward. So quick recap: knowing what you want, identify it, ask it, ask for what you want. Really, really important. You know, we don't do it often enough, and if you were raised in that way to not ask for what you want, it's probably going to be quite difficult as an adult for you to be able to do that freely and openly and without guilt. Okay, but I'm giving you permission today. Ask for what you want, and you'll be surprised. Once you get clear and once you ask, things will start to drop in for you and things will start to manifest really easy. You'll wonder why you haven't been doing it all along. I think we lost connection temporarily. Okay, so the next step, once you've got clear on what you want and you've set out some goals, you've created a kind of a plan and you've asked for what you want and you've kind of got into a phase of clarity and focus and maybe determination as well, and real sort of drive, which is required in this process. I'm going to come in and contradict that now completely. So don't be confused, bear with me, hang in there. So the next step is to be willing to be flexible, and it kind of contradicts what I've just said, but hear me out. So what happens is when we state to the universe that we really want something, we want a better life, a better relationship, more money in the bank, a more soul-based, heart-centered, lucrative business, more freedom in our life, whatever it is that you're seeking to draw in. Once we get clear and we ask for that, the universe kind of goes, okay, I see how things are going for you. I see how you maybe want things to progress. But hear this, and very often we don't hear it. Hear this, dear one. I've got a bigger, better plan for you. And the reason that the universe doesn't really speak in that way, but if it was to, it would say, you are embarking on the long route, or the hard route, or the struggle steeped route, or the painful route even, right? And the universe would say to you, dear loved one, there's a better, easier, more joyful route. So now that you're really focused and you're paying attention and you are clear on what you want, I'm going to come in and I'm going to help you. Right? And the important word there is help. Because very often when the universe comes in to help us, we feel that the universe is playing a sick joke on us. That the universe is going against us. And really what is happening is that the universe is operating on our behalf for us, right? So in essence, life is happening for us, not to us. So when we embark on our plan, on our journey to upgrade, to improve, whether it's your health, your wellness, your relationship, your money, the list is endless. And we're doing really well, and we're creating, we're progressing, we're upgrading, but then something goes, what we feel is wrong. Maybe things aren't coming in as quickly. Maybe the house that we're looking to rent isn't as we imagined. Maybe the location that we wanted to move to isn't inviting us in, and there are blocks there. When I first decided to relocate somewhere warm, I thought I was going to end up in Mexico. So for all of you who know that I didn't end up in Mexico, I ended up in India, right? Just understanding that that was a clever detour. It was a loving detour from the universe, not a block. So very often we perceive when things aren't going in the exact way that we wanted them to go in, we perceive them as a block, as a problem, as an issue. So by being willing to be flexible, we will find that we'll move forward a lot quicker and a lot more painlessly. And a lot more joyfully as well. So be willing to be flexible and surrender. So once we've put our request out to the universe, it's about taking a step back. It's about opening up and understanding that in our surrendered state, we're really able to co-create with the universe rather than believing that we're doing this all alone. Right? Because a lot of the work does fall on us, but we're not doing it alone, guys. We're in a co-creative relationship with the universe. And the quicker we can understand that and accept that, the quicker we will absolutely soar towards what we are desiring. Yes, you are living proof, Michelle. Absolutely. One day we'll share your story, my darling. We really will. Not right now because we're moving on. So surrender, not giving up. Okay, no, that's the next one. Surrender and understanding that life happens for us, not to us. I've got a few notes here as well because I am renowned for going off on a tangent, and I wanted to make this one really quick and specific and precise for you guys today, knowing that it's Friday evening, or it's Friday, some kind of Friday day for you, morning, evening, nighttime, wherever you are in the world. Sending you so much love. It's so good to be able to do this and come on live with you guys. The power and the beauty of progression. Okay, so knowing what you want, getting clarity, identifying it and asking for it. That's the first segment. The second segment is to be willing to be flexible. Be willing to surrender and trust that life is happening for you, not to you. And that the universe loves you so much that it is willing to trump any specific plans or detailed ideas or manipulated outlines that you had in place. Loves you enough to trump those, to fast track you to where you need to be, whether it's a stepping stone, whether it's a learning opportunity, or whether it's one of your miracles that you've been calling in. Hi, Gemma. So the next phase, number 3, is, and it's going to sound really obvious, guys, but it's to keep going. And it is obvious. And if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, go over there and do so. Upgrade with Maria K. Some kind of lowercase hashtags and stuff. You'll find me, I'm sure. It's one of my regular mantras or hashtags that I use. Keep going, keep going. And it's one that I use for myself all the time, because very often we wake up in the morning and we're like, wow, not again. I've got to do this again. Or perhaps when something isn't going right. Perhaps when you've had one of those detours from the universe. Perhaps when the universe has come in and trumped you, and steered you off path, and you're exhausted, and the last thing you want to do is to keep going. But I'm telling you, you must keep going, because it is in that moment where you feel like giving up that your next breakthrough, your next miracle, your next mini upgrade, your next big upgrade, that's where it lies. That in that space of you pulling yourself up, holding your head up high, understanding that life happens for you, not to you, pulling yourself out of victim mode, right? Because it's inside of victim mode that we think, well, I'm not doing it again. I've done it so many times. I've got through the breakup. I've pulled myself out of poverty. I've found my other job. I've reached for another client. I've fixed, you know, my relationship with my children, or whatever it might be for you. I've taken care of my health. I've moved house, moved location. I've done it too many times. I don't want to do it again. But I'm telling you, you must. You must do it again. And if you find it hard to pick yourself up again, what I want you to keep doing is going back to the beginning, to phase number 1, which is knowing what you want, getting clarity, and reconnect with why you're doing this. What is it that you're doing this for? Why do you want a better feeling body? Why do you want a freedom-based lifestyle? Why do you want to move to another country? Why do you want that soulmate relationship? Identifying why is also really important. So that's just an extra side note there. So when you feel like giving up, I have to remind you to keep going. And if you ever do feel like giving up and you've got no one around you to give you that boot up the backside, call me, let me know, and I will do exactly what I know is needed for you. I will pick you up and I will spur you on and I will encourage you. Hi, Henda. It's so great to see you all. Okay, so keep going. And often keeping going isn't just about scraping ourselves up out of a heap on the floor, which I'm sure you've all done many, many times, and I have also done that many, many times. Hi, Rajesh. It's also about moving forward despite the fears, because as we move forward, after identifying what it is we want, very often what it is we want, that sort of soul inspired desire, isn't always going to be an easy one to attain. It isn't always going to be an easy path to tread. It isn't always going to be comfortable. Okay, so during this phase of keeping going, we have to learn to keep moving forward despite the fear. Now, I've come to know that it's not about overcoming your fear. It's not about quashing the fear or moving the fear to one side. It's not about dissolving the fears. I have come to believe, and from many years of experience on a personal level and through working with my wonderful community and clients, that we need to learn to move forward despite the fear. Even when we are feeling the fear to its fullness in our body, we need to learn to be able to move forward anyway. And it's a little bit like taking that leap of faith. It's a little bit like jumping off that cliff, taking that blind leap of faith and jumping off that cliff, even when your legs are like jelly. If you haven't seen any of my cliff jumping videos or my bridge jumping videos, have a look on my page or go onto my YouTube channel. They're all there. And it's been proven that when you're able to move forward despite the fear, that once again will create that mini miracle. It will create for you that next upgrade, that next ascension, that next attainment of what it is you really want. Because I'm not going to, speak about this for very long, because I'm sure you know it, but I'm going to mention the comfort zone. Inside of your comfort zone is everything that you already have. So if you're seeking to create or attract or build something different, then you need to begin to move out of that space that you're in right now into the next space. So sometimes it means moving even in the darkness, even when you are absolutely petrified and you can't see beyond the next step. Martin Luther King has a wonderful quote, and it says, take that step. You don't have, what is it? You don't have to be able to see the whole staircase in order to take the first step. That's it. Okay. Sorry if I paraphrase there, Martin. So understanding that also the bigger your vision, the bigger that you are reaching for in life, the more you're probably going to have to say to yourself, keep going. And this is a mantra that I use for myself as well. Very often you'll find me on the edge of my bed, feeling quite weary and exhausted from constantly living outside of my comfort zone. And if you follow my story, if you've known me for a long time, you'll know that the leaps and the jumps and the blind leaps of faith that I've taken have been immense and enormous. And it's not about just doing it once. I was very naive at one point a few years ago, thinking, okay, well, you've done the move now, you've made the move, you relocated to a place you'd never even been to before, you left your life behind, you left your animals, your house, your partner behind, and you've made the big leap. That's it now. Things should be really easy and simple. It doesn't work like that. Let me tell you from experience. it occurs on a daily basis. On a daily basis, we have to keep going, and we have to keep going despite the discomfort and despite the fear, even though they'll keep coming up again and again and again. But here's a really good tip to help you keep going. And it's something that my clients get really tired of me saying, but I will never stop saying it. That every time you feel the little dog scratching in the background, I'm looking after 3 wonderful dogs at the moment. Thank you, Scruffy, for the background noise. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so a little tip. When you're feeling fear or any kind of unhelpful emotion, it could be anything. It could be guilt. It could be the desire to feel small or retreat back into your kind of comfort zone. This is what I say to myself and to my clients. I say, great, brilliant. I'm really happy that you're feeling that way. Or I say to myself, I'm really happy that you've showed up fear or guilt or whatever it is you're feeling, because that indicates to me that you're about to break through to your next upgrade. It indicates to me that what you said you wanted to create, achieve, or attract is in the making. How cool is that? How cool is it that you could put a positive spin on something that maybe is totally out of your comfort zone, right? So that's a really powerful thing that I use, and my clients and community also use as well. So you've got to be willing to stay the course. You've got to be willing to understand that it isn't going to always be easy, but that is not an invitation to say, oh, well, it's not meant to be. It's not easy. It's not happening. It's not going right for me. It's not meant to be, and then quit. Because the only way that you can fail is if you quit. So whatever it is that you need to keep going at, it's your responsibility. And I know this might sound harsh. Of course, seek the necessary support and guidance, whether it's through a friend, a coach, a partner, right? Do that. Really, I can't stress that enough. But don't quit. Don't quit at all. And you'll start to be able to glance back and see that those moments that you did want to quit were your breakthrough moments. So if you can't feel or understand or even trust or believe that now, maybe take it from me. Maybe put your trust in me for a little while and understand that it's happened to me many, many times. And it's exactly the same for the people that I teach and I coach. That eventually you'll begin to bank up a whole host of evidence, because very often our ego mind, our logical mind requires a whole bank of evidence. And at the beginning, you won't have that. You will be operating on complete blind faith. So maybe draw on my faith, right? Maybe, hi Eleni. Yeah, you'll catch it later. There'll be the replay. So, where was I? So there will be a time where you'll almost be operating in the mystery, in the confusion, in the complete and utter chaos, right? And that doesn't change. The mystery, the confusion, the fear, the chaos, they don't ever go away. But the difference being that if you're a bit further down on your journey, you'll have past experiences to draw on. So for now, take it from me, from the bottom, very bottom of my heart. You are where you are because you're destined for great things. You're destined to succeed and achieve and attract and create. You really are. Whatever your current focus is, I really do wish for you everything that you desire and more. So let's have a quick recap before we finish. Know what you want, identify it, get clarity based on your very sacred inner calling, inner desires. Ask for it based on your past, on what you want for the future. Don't leave anything unturned. No holds barred. You deserve everything that you desire. So, state it, ask for it. And then once you've done that, be willing to be flexible. So take a step back. Know and understand that you're co-creating with the universe. You're not doing this alone. And don't get mad with the universe all the time. All right, have a little temper tantrum. Fair enough. I do too. Right? If you know me well, those of you out there, I do too. I stamp my feet and I'll have a few tears when things aren't going the way I wanted them to go. Right? Hi, Catherine. But then understand Make it part of your daily mantra. Life happens for me, not to me. And when things aren't happening the way you wanted them to happen, ask the question, what is this for? And then be willing to receive that message, that feedback, that information. Okay, and then the last one is to keep going. Even when you want to just quit, go back to bed and say, F it, right? Even when you say, no more, I'm done. Refer back to why you wanted a life improvement, a life upgrade, or in any particular area of your current focus. Refer back to it, connect back to it, and have that be your motivation. Have that be your kick up the backside, and be willing to stay the course and get the support. Don't do it alone. So if you need my support, reach out to me. I'm going to be giving away over the next few days. I've got a few sort of free segments in my diary, and I'm going to be giving them away. So if you want to talk to me over Skype, or we can do Facebook chat or WhatsApp chat, whatever is easy for you, then reach out to me, comment below, and it'll be first come, first serve. I think I've got about 5 slots free. They're about 20 minutes each. So I'd love to reach out. I'd love for you to reach out, and I'd love to reach out to you and help you in whatever you're struggling with at the moment. Okay, because I know that whatever it is a potential breakthrough moment for you. And it would be such a shame for you to miss out on that because you're exhausted, you're fed up, you feel tired, you feel like nothing's working, you feel like you can't do it, you feel like you're not good enough. Or maybe you're guilty. You feel guilty to keep going. Maybe you feel like you're taking time away from your loved ones, or you feel like you don't deserve it. Whatever it is, reach out to me and I'd be happy to support you for 20 minutes this weekend. Sending you as much love as you can absorb in this moment. Mwah.